Hi there folks, it's Deni. You know, finding a game that can keep you hooked for hours or hundreds or thousands of hours is, well, quite a challenge. So I've done it for you and found you some cool games that are sure to hook you in for weeks and months. And no, I'm not talking about CSGO or anything like that. It's going to be much more diverse today. By the way, I've done a video like this before, and if you missed it, the link is in the description. But before we begin, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Okay, let's get started. Do you miss adrenaline and dynamic gameplay? The perfect place to get it all? Good old Crossout. Tense battles, dozens of different vehicles, and hundreds of parts for their customization are waiting for you. You can make a powerful, bulletproof tank and destroy your enemies just by the look of it. Or make something smaller, but fast, and get in the back of unsuspecting enemies. In any case, Crossout is the best place to show everyone who is a real pro. Download the game at the link in the description. You know, racing games are fun and all, but often only for a while. Once you've played a couple dozen hours of racing games, you don't enjoy it that much anymore. But not when you play Forza Horizon 5. And it's amazing how a racing game can be so good. It's because the developers added racing, and now it's kind of a free action game with gorgeous graphics, photo mode, in a literally real world. Well, in case anyone doesn't know what this game is all about, it's about traveling around Mexico. I mean real Mexico, because here the world is made exactly as it is in reality. Well, the size of the country and the number of cars in this game are impressive. So, if you wanted to drive a cool car, but for some reason you cannot do it in real life, you can definitely do it in Forza Horizon 5. And you can do it for a very long time, because this game will hook you in, trust me. Space games rarely get interesting these days. I mean, seriously, when I see a space game, I'm immediately bored with it. My first thought is that I'd have to figure out how they work for at least a week. But there are always exceptions. So, welcome to X4 Foundations. This is one of the most well-designed universe simulators I've ever seen. Well, here you can pilot absolutely any ship and fly anywhere you want. Here you'll also deal with a vibrant local financial system, a unique building system, well, and sometimes fight. In short, it turns out to be the best space game you're likely to spend weeks playing. And next up we have something like Diablo 4, but better. Well, of course, I'm exaggerating a bit, given that the game has been out for quite some time now, but it's so well designed that it doesn't bore you even after all these years. There are tons of interesting items, multiple difficulty levels, and most importantly no seasons, and infinite money sucking, but overall, it's like a better version of Diablo 4. There's a much more variable improvement system, more content, and the gameplay is just like more player friendly. All in all, it's the perfect game to play with friends and for solo play. What's more, the game has seen some cool DLC in recent years, so trust me, you'll find something to do here. Well, if some of you still think that a single-player game can't hook you for 1,000 hours or more, then you are wrong, because Baldur's Gate 3 will definitely do. Well, I play it myself now sometimes, and already make huge plans for a second playthrough, and you know why? Here you can play the game in at least 3 ways, and well, it will take you at least 500 hours. Well, let me tell you a little bit about these ways. You can resist the power of the worm in your head, you can also maximize that power and improve that talent branch, and maybe you'll turn into an illithid at the end, or maybe you won't. You can also kill literally every single NPC you meet. But what happens then? Well, there are so many questions coming out that you want to try everything in this game, and the longer you play, the more new questions you get. So, if you've been looking for something to keep you busy for quite some time, this is just what you need. Speaking of long games, it's hard not to mention some MMORPG, because these are exactly the type of games that make you spend hundreds of hours playing them. So, today I have something interesting for you. It's Conqueror's Blade, a very unusual MMORPG, where you, besides improving your character, have to improve your entire army. And trust me, you will need it here. Each of the characters in this world can take 3 types of troops with them. So yes, in this game you will fight side by side with your own army. Aside from that, this game is very variable. There are several character classes and about 100 troop types. Of course, some are much better than others because the meta is constantly changing, so you can't just stick with one troop and you'll have to upgrade others as well. This game will definitely suck you in. And most importantly, this is not a pay-to-win game. This means that you can make your own progress here without spending any money. Isn't that cool? You know, sometimes I feel like some games just refuse to die, and Planetside 2 is just that kind of game. Well, of course, now we have BattleBit, but if you don't like low-poly graphics, you can try Planetside 2 with giant maps, 3 warring factions, and a war that never ends at all. Well, of course, things will be more difficult here than in regular shooters because the games used to be, well, not beginner-friendly at all, but if you like a challenge, why not? I'm sure some of you love fighting games and like learning all those cool kick combos and stuff, and since MK1 isn't coming out until September, I've brought something cool for you to try out now. This is Street Fighter 6, the 6th game in the series and, well, the best of them all. In fact, it's one of the best fighting games overall. The only thing I don't like about it is that there aren't that many fighters in this game, but the beautiful graphics and great gameplay definitely make up for it. Now let's talk a little bit about shooters. Apex Legends sucked me in for a couple thousand hours back in the day, and recently another new season was released there. The Revenant was reworked, and now he became even more formidable. On top of that, the developers redesigned the weapons a bit. All in all, it wasn't a bad update to a great game. So if you like shooters, this game will definitely energize you for hundreds of hours. Speaking of positive emotions, let's take a look at Escape from Tarkov. Here you can go on sorties where you will either get something useful or die. It gives a kind of excitement, doesn't it? Especially if you're doing it with friends. To be honest, I'm not a fan of this one myself, but my buddies don't miss a single season of this game and they seem quite as satisfied. That's because, first of all, this game looks very realistic, and second of all, here you can walk through all sorts of mysterious, abandoned places. Isn't it cool? And if you're more into PvE challenges and bosses that you can try to defeat for hours, then welcome to Elden Ring. Here you can spend literally thousands of hours creating specific builds for PvE, shieldless play, or a game built around dodging. Well, after you get through the game the first time, you make up your own challenges and try to complete them. And it's very interesting, I'd say. Time flies by in this game. In general, along with Baldur's Gate 3, it's a real masterpiece. And if you have enough challenges in real life and you just want to kind of relax in games, you can try Valheim. It's a game with a unique world with oh so cool vibes. I don't even know how to explain it, but when you build your first shack somewhere on the edge of a forest or in the meadows and sit down next to it by the fire, you literally feel like you're really there right now. Well, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But anyway, besides the beautiful meadows, there are also Misty Lands, a new boss, less construction system, and all that kind of stuff. Moreover, you can also try it out with your friends. Speaking of co-op mode, if you want to play with your friends, I have a cool shooter for you. It's Hunt Showdown, and it is very similar in concept to Escape from Tarkov, except instead of the real world, you get into a very dark, scary one, with a boss that you have to defeat. Here you will have a lot of hunters, a lot of weapons, realism mixed with dark fantasy, zombies, and all sorts of scary things, as well as other hunters who are trying to find valuable prey just like you. And yeah, you can be sure that this this game will definitely make your heart beat more often. Just imagine, it's muddy, dark, and you can hear gunshots from everywhere. Your friend has already been killed and you are left alone with your enemies. This is what makes players spend hundreds of hours in this game. Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and found something interesting. And if so, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It's been Deni. See you guys soon.